Hello and good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all you beautiful ladies that are tuning in tonight. It's tonight here, so um, I just thought I'd continue from yesterday with day two. And again, we just start with speaking life again, speaking blessing, choosing life, choosing to walk in the blessing of God, and to speak it over our cities and to speak it over our families, our marriages, our nation in this time. So I just thought today I was reading in Genesis, the book of Genesis, and chapter 16 stood out to me, and it spoke about Sarah. Sarah, who was barren and she couldn't bear any children. And then what she did is she told Abram to sleep with his maid so that he could have kids. But the chapter before that, though, in chapter 12, God gives Abram a promise to say that God will make him into a great nation, and that God will bless him, will make his name great, and so forth and so forth. And he was 75 at the time. And so 11 years later, still nothing had happened. And I guess Sarah was growing also impatient. And as my title for tonight, or the session, is called Practicing Patience. And it's something we as women maybe we struggle with, because we know God has promised us something, but we get impatient when things don't happen the way that it should, and so we feel we need to help God along the way. And Sarah did this. And when Hagar found out that she was pregnant, she despised Sarah. And I can only imagine, maybe Hagar, she didn't want to be in that position. And yeah, when she was now pregnant, what was going through her mind? She blamed Sarah for what, she was going through, the pain and the misery. She didn't want to be pregnant, but yeah, she was. And so she made Sarah's life very uncomfortable. And then what Sarah did is Sarah then blamed Abraham. She blamed Abraham for for the whole situation, where in fact she was the one that encouraged Abraham and instructed him to do that. So I was thinking about this, and it made me just more aware that how sometimes when God gives us a promise, or he shows us a picture of what our marriage can look like, or what he's going to do for us personally, for our marriage, for our children, when we don't see things play out the way we think that it should, maybe we don't see the fruit manifest as quickly as we would like it to, then we get disheartened, or we try and fix it, or we try and, like I said previously, we try and help God along, when God tells us to not grow weary in doing good, because at the right time we will be rewarded, and to wait on the Lord, because he will restore our strength, he will strengthen us, and to trust in him and lean not on our own understanding, and to acknowledge him in all our ways. And we as women, we get very emotional, and sometimes, the word teaches us that our hearts can be deceptive. And so we make a lot of decisions out of our emotion instead of our spirit. So I want to encourage you tonight is to get into the spirit and, ask God to just give you patience for whatever it is you are trusting him for, whatever it is he said he would do for you. It's important for us to just come into his rest, to pursue him and align ourselves according to what his word teaches us, and to align ourselves and position ourselves for the fulfillment of God's promises. So Perhaps you've been impatient, maybe you made some mistakes, and maybe you um, did some things that have just caused you more strife instead of helping the situation. God is gracious tonight. So if that is you, if you feel that things have just gotten worse instead of better, come back to the feet of Christ tonight, and ask Him to work on you once again, to fill you afresh and to make you sensitive to His voice, and to His word, and so that you can hear what he wants you to do, so that you can hear how He wants you to take the next steps forward. Because yes, He gave you this promise, but it took in total Sarah 24 years to see the fulfillment of that promise. It took 11 years from that promise to the point where she instructed Abram to sleep with the maid. It took 11 years, and then Ishmael was born, and then it was another 13 years. So who's to say, if she had just been patient and we had waited it out, that it wouldn't have had to take that total of 24 years. But because she went and did her own thing, she had to wait a further 13 years before God fulfilled that promise. So let us not get in the way of God tonight. Let us align ourselves to His word and to His promises, and get our hearts right. Because God is a faithful God. He's always on time. And don't grow weary being the awesome woman that you are, trusting in Him, trusting that He will do what He said He would do, because He will. He's the God of the impossible, and there's nothing too hard for Him. And so with that, I just want to speak blessing again over our marriages, over the purposes that God has placed on us, the talents and the gifts and the creativity that God has given us to be a perfect helpmeet to our husbands. I want to just speak a blessing over that you will grow in that, and that you will just pursue God more, and God will reveal Himself to you, and that He will use you as a channel to bring restoration back into your marriage and back into your family. So yes, so that is me for tonight. Hopefully tomorrow, God willing, we see each other again. Have an awesome evening, and God bless.